Hi everyone, I'm Karen Combs and welcome to my FlossTube 49. It's been a little while since I've been with you. I'm taping this on July 11th, 2025. About a week and a half after I taped my last FlossTube, we lost our little dog Benji, and I guess that's all I can say about it right now without breaking up. So, I've been doing a lot of stitching, and I thought that you would like to see it. So what I'm going to do is I have a finish. I've got a little bit of haul, and then I pulled things that I've worked on this year, and I've done a lot of stitching. And I was talking to my floss group, the little floss group I meet with once a month, and I mentioned to them, I said, what is it about handwork or even machine piecing when you're quilting? The repetitive nature, if you're piecing a quilt, whether it's by machine or hand, if you're stitching, if you're knitting, if you're doing embroidery, needlepoint, there's something about that repetitive movement that often is healing. So I've been doing a lot of stitching, and some of it has been taking a lot of concentration, which is good. So let's just get right to it. I've got just a tiny bit of haul, and I've got one finish that you saw, and I'm hoping that all this pile does not fall. So this is Betsy's House by Plum Street. It's copyright 2013, but I believe it's still available. And I did this on 40 count. I actually have the linen here, 40 count Mad Hatter's Tea linen by Dames of the Needle. Let's see if I can hold that up. I've been working in the garden, so excuse any scrapes, bumps, nails not perfect, refit, they're clean. So I've been canning pickles, I've been putting up pickles, I've been working in the garden a lot. So anyway, here is Betsy's House. I'm going to show you what I did change. I did the called for floss, and I did change this little motif here just a little bit. Here it is. And this is on a little bigger piece of linen. It's a fat quarter because I'm intending on using it for some other patriotic. That is more of the true color. Now on the chart, the stars and the windows are not filled in, but I did fill them in with the shaker white that's called for. And you can see what I did there in the star. So I just love it. I haven't decided if it's going to be framed or pillow. So that is Betsy's House. So that's my finish. The challenge is I'm surrounded by chairs and baskets trying to keep things organized. This is, you've seen this. I did get the last of the silk for it. This I picked up at the Attic when I was there in April. It's Mary Chilton 1620. Show it to you here. It's all about the Mayflower, and I believe Mary Chilton was actually one of the people on the Mayflower. Pull it up here. Yes, and here is her grave. So the called for silk is Silk in Color, which I've never used before by the Thread Gatherer, but oh, is it pretty. And I was missing two. They finally came in. I mean, they just feel wonderful. So I am looking forward to using it. Look at these colors. I haven't pulled linen yet for it. It was done on, let me see if it says, it was done on Ren, 32 count Ren, which I have some Ren, but it's 40, so I might do it on that. I need to see if there's any specialty stitchers, and I'm not sure if there is. I'm just looking. And on my last video, I did put in the description those charts that were Ada friendly. And Betsy's house is now on the floor. But I will tell you that on Betsy's house, I'm trying to think if there was any over 1. I'm looking at it. I don't think there was any over 1. And let me mention, I have a friend, Gail, that's in my little stitch group, and she loves to work on the 20 count Ada. And she's working on a Plum Street. And when we were meeting, we noticed in the chart there was some over 1, just a couple little pieces. And she was asking me what to do. And one of my other friends, Ruth, mentioned, you know, we all talked about it'd be kind of difficult to do the over 1 on the Ada, but then Ruth came up with a brilliant idea of French knot, because it's just a little dot of color. So Gail's going to play with that idea. So anyway, I thought I would mention that. Let me just look real quick on Mary Chilton to see if there's any over 1. 2 strands on 32 count. Let's see. No. 1 strand of this on 32 count. I don't think there's any specialty stitches. There's some back stitching. There's a road stitch. Yes, there is. There is a road stitch, which is something like that. So I haven't gotten into the chart yet, so it might be something that something else could be done there, but I did want to show you those silks that are just stunning. The colors are just so pretty. So I'm anxious to start that. Maybe I'll start that in November. Haven't thought about it, but maybe. So that is basically the haul, other than I do have a big thing, which is why there was no more other haul this last month and a half or 2 months. Okay, let's look at what I've been stitching, and I've got some of the threads here. Hopefully I don't have them messed up too much. I did just a little bit, and this is from January forward. So the more recent things I'll mention when I'm working on them, but I just pulled everything I touched so far this year. Plum Street, there is Liberty. Back up. And here are, I'm doing called for. Someone asked what these are. These are wire key ties. I'll put the link to them, but I like putting my floss on it. And then these little Kraft Tags, I just made a copy of that, reduced it greatly, so I could just put it on there. So that way I know what this is. Here's the Spirit of Liberty. And you'll just have to forgive me for being a little not organized, because I didn't even know if I'd be able to do this. So far, I'm doing okay. All right, Spirit of Liberty. There is Liberty, R&R, 40 count, R&R Espresso. There, I've got this was a little piece left over from something else, but I thought it was perfect. There's the color. So I think I worked on just a little bit of the stars. So I did work on that. So we're kind of in our, this is January forward. Yep, it's gonna fall, every single piece. All right, a few patriotic right here. Let me do this one next. I started this last year on Flag Day, and Jean from the Attic showed it on one of the floss tubes, and it might have been about that time, but I had it, so I decided to start it. This is a Cross the Sea sampler. There are a lot of specialty stitches in this one. There is Liberty that we just talked about. I am not sure. There might be a few over one because it says one floss over two linen threads, except were noted. Let's see. There's a little over one, probably in the eagle's eye. Yes, and there's a long stitch on the leg and a back stitch window. So remember that idea and test it first, but maybe if you just have a little spot of over one, you could do a French knot. So this one, other than that little bit of over one, would be Ada friendly. This one is not. It's got a lot of specialty stitches. And here are the floss I'm using, the called for. And on this one, I didn't make a tag, so I've just put one of these little rings on there so that I know what it is. So here's the flosses there. And I got quite a bit done through the middle. The specialty stitches in this are rice stitch, four-sided stitch. There's some over one. There's a lot of over one. The lady's all over one. And what is this on? Let me look. This is on 36 count R&R American Chestnut. Let me pull it back. So that's more of the true color. Looks pretty good in the camera though. So worked on that, the patriotic. All right. So far, haven't fallen. And I have another patriotic. Okay, so I can set all of those aside. Hopefully we don't knock anything over. There's that floss. That is housed, those two are housed in this penny and tunny bag. Is this one? Yes. There's another penny and tunny bag. Look at that. I think that's French General on the back. And I just use those same tags to put, this one I did put some little bling on there, which is Red House. So that way I know what's in there. Let me grab the flosses to the next one. This is New Constitution, again, Plum Street. I know there's over one in this one. And on this one, I think I started that this year. The other ones were started last year, but I've worked on them this year. New Constitution, let's see. It's on 40 count Old Stationery by Seraphim. Here, using the called for. Okay, I did do one of the little tags. And the called for a combination of Weeks, Classic Colorworks, and DMC. So anytime you see one of these, I've put the DMC on there. Let me put that back. And here it is. I came further down, got the house done. There is over one on this one too. No. Old Stationery by Seraphim. So came down there. I was concerned I wasn't going to have enough, but you can see I do. So I just took the vine all the way down so I could make sure. So worked on that. Now these are all this year, so I'm not sure when, but all this year. That one can go down there. And another one I did some work on. Let me readjust my pile that's ready to fall. This is Brenda Keyes New England sampler. And I'm using the called for, which are, I think it's all DMC. Yes. So here's the code for DMC. And I am doing this one on 28 count over 1. And I don't remember what the color is. It's a cream. I don't think it's potato. Let's see. I don't see it quickly. So I'm just going to show it to you. It might be potato. So this one is over 1. And now finished. Came down there. I love these houses. So on the Lugana, I believe this is 28 count. It's a rounded thread. So I find it very easy to stitch on over 1. They're consistent and they're a little bit rounded. So if you've ever thought about doing over 1 and you're a little nervous, try Lugana first. You could try a 25 count. I think this one's either 25 or 28. Here it is, 25 count, not 28, on potato. So I did work on that this year, and I'm going to stop saying that because I worked on that this year. So I thought what also might be fun in this is to show you some of the things that I'm thinking about as I'm working on these different things I've stitched. My whips, this year's whips. Do you do that when you're working on something? Are you thinking about what's next or what you want to start? So I thought I'd pull a few of the patriotic, since we just looked at some of the patriotic I stitched, that I have kitted that I want to start, which I haven't yet. This is Land of the Free by Willow Hill Samplings. I've had this kitted for a long time. I don't even know if I have the linen in here. I know I do have the linen. What's the problem? What is the linen? Oh, there's a beautiful piece of XJU 36 count, old sheep, ready to go. Don't you love the smell of the XJU linen? I don't know what she uses to finish it with, but oh, all right. That just moved up. And here I did a card. I took this, put it on my little home copier, and just glued it to cardstock, and then made a copy of the colors. And I think this is all DMC. Or is it weeks? I'm not sure. There it is right here. Okay, those are like classic color works and general arts. So there we go. There it is, ready to go. What is the problem? I haven't started it. That's one that just moved up. I'm glad I pulled that out. Here's another one that I would like to start. I do not have linen for this. That's Plum Street, the Equality Sampler. And I do have all the DMC. I don't have them on the tags yet. Are they all DMC? Okay, no, I don't have everything pulled for this. I have the DMC, but there are some weeks colors. All right, so this one is partially kitted, not entirely kitted. Why did I stop? Maybe some of the colors are from the other ones I'm working on. So anyway, but I did get the DMC for that. That's one that I'm thinking should move up. Although that one I just showed you, the linen, really needs to move up. Here's another one from Plum Street, Americana Sampler. And it looks like I've done the same thing. I have gotten the DMC. Oh, okay, I know what I did here. I probably did this on the other one. I decided to do just the DMC conversion. And that must be what I did on the other one. Decided to do just, shouldn't say just, because it's beautiful. And I was talking to Andra, another one of the ladies in my little group, and I was showing her some different silks And then we were comparing it with DMC, and the sheen on the DMC was beautiful. And she goes, I don't think I feel so bad that I use a lot of DMC. Look at the sheen. I said, you shouldn't. It's gorgeous. So here's my DMC all ready. And I think that's what I did on the previous one. So Americana sampler is one that I'm thinking about as I'm stitching the things I have, the whips. Heritage sampler, again by Plum Street. This one's a little further along because I have the colors all pulled and on the ring, ready to go. So that's one. And this one took me a little bit to kit because I was missing a few colors. And I think I have everything ready. This is ready to go with linen. This is by Annie B's Patriots Inn. This was new at market this year. And I did not put a tag on this yet, so I need to do that. But it's a combination of DMC, Weeks, and Classic Colorworks. So with no tag, it's really hard to know where this goes. So it's staying in this bag, but I do need to put a tag on that. And what did I pull for linen? Oh, this linen's gorgeous. What is this? Irish Coffee by Legacy, isn't it? Is 28 count, yes, from Legacy. So, oh, look at those colors. And I like how the white and the cream, or the light colors, pop off this. I don't know if that's the called for. Let me look. No, the called for is 36 count Ligonier Latte R&R. But I must have been going through my linen and pulled this because it's similar. This is a little more red looking, but I loved how the threads looked on that, or the flosses. So that one's ready to go. I need to move that up with the other one, the Willow Hill one. It's ready to go. Need to put them in like a order of ready to go, coming up, maybe in a while. Okay, any more? Okay, let's move on to the whips. And this one is one that I started this year, and I worked a lot on it. This is by Blackbird. I know it's on Wood Smoke. I think it's 40 count Wood Smoke. So it's come into my garden. I've had this kitted for a long time. And I decided to start it. I think I decided to start it when one of the retreats were going on this spring at Hobby House, and I couldn't go. And so I thought, you know what? We can't do everything. And a lot of times there are things we wish we could go to and we can't. So I thought, I'm going to take this weekend while everyone's at Hobby House and I'll be there in spirit. I'm going to start something that I wanted to start. So this was it. And in one of my previous floss tubes, I went through the different linens, and then at the last minute, I switched to Wood Smoke. So there's my little tag. Here are, I think it's all Weeks. Beautiful, beautiful colors. And here it is. I'll hold it back. I do have a hanging thread. Apologize. Normally I pull them out of the back, but I just need to tape this floss tube or I won't do it at all. So, okay, this is a big piece of linen. Let me fold it. Okay, there's the color. And let me get where you can see it. And there it is. Let me see, I'm gonna kind of peek around. There, and I'll kind of roll it up. So I've got quite a bit done on it. Now there's just something about Blackbird. So there it is. I am loving working on it, and I've worked quite a bit on it. So that, I'll put that, I might go back to that later today. I'm gonna put that over there. And this is another one I worked quite a bit on. And where in the world are your threads? They're over there. And I'm not gonna go get them, so. That's because I was working on it when I moved everything off the table to set up for the floss tube, and those are across the room, so. This is, I know I'm using the called for. This is Maria Higginson by Stacy Nash. Look at this house, this big, giant house, and I love the perspective in that walkway. This is on 36 count Edinburgh straw by Weeks. And I'm using the called for. I haven't changed anything in the floss, but I did change the color of the window frames. I made them darker. My notes, everything's over there. Here it is, 36 count straw. That's the called for. That's the color, and here's where I'm at. It's kind of a weird tree. That's just how it is. And that little thing, that little leaf and vine ghost, but I think I'm gonna leave it. There is some over one in that verse there. I believe it's over one. Let me see, I've got glasses here. These aren't super powered readers. I believe those are over one. But I love the colors. Interesting, look at the brick and the windows. Those in the chart are not filled in. So now I'm curious what I'm gonna do if I'm gonna fill those in. It's an interesting texture. So, and I love the roof is a combination of deep sea and London fog. And the brick is hazelnut. Did I change that? I might have changed that, but I don't think so. I think it's just the window frames are red. And I decided to do them dark brown. So that has gotten quite a bit of work done on it. And then I'll show you some that I've just got just a little start. Actually, before I do that, here's one I keep thinking about when I'm stitching, and this was an exclusive with the Homespun Facebook group, but it's available now, readily available. It is by Stacy Nash. It's Rose Hill Farm. In the group, we had the sampler and the pin keep, and I'm not sure in the one that was released generally if you get both. I'm not sure. But I know the samplers out there. So this was a whole kit. So here's the called for. Hand dyed. The linen is quite dark, and I can't readily see what it is, but you can see how beautiful it is on the cover. So I haven't really analyzed it yet, if I'm going to change it or not. But that's what I'm thinking about as I'm working on Maria Higginson. I'm thinking about this one. So many things to do and not enough time. So this one, I have a whole conversion. Where did I put it? This one, I did a Vicki Clayton. Oh, it's right in front of me. I know I pulled everything. Here it is. So let me show you. This is an older chart by the exemplary Mary Victor Sampler, 1764. And I'm going to hold it up close because it's got some of the funkiest motifs. There's a cow, or maybe it's a goat. I think somewhere, yes, there's a rabbit. Okay, here it is. And I'm going to go really close there so you can see. And I purchased this on eBay, and I changed the linen here are the flosses. What in the world? It's like there's an extra thing of floss in here. What's that go to? Okay, here are the flosses. All DMC. And I laid them all out, and I pulled my Vicky Clayton silk and did my own conversion. So here are the colors. And I just have a small start on it, and I don't know the linen. Let me look real quick. A lot of people have mentioned they like knowing the linen, so I hope you don't mind me taking a moment to look. This is 40 count ballet slipper. This was hard to find a linen that I liked. Finally, oh, could have just looked at the tag. So I just have an upper corner start. But that, sometimes ballet slippers very pink, pinkish, pink tone hue. This one has just a little bit. I liked how the colors looked on it. Let me just pull the DMC here, as you can see. I liked that. So just a little tiny start on that, but I like how it's looking. So that one, I did find that on eBay. And I'm not sure why I found it. Maybe I was just looking at exemplary charts on eBay, older ones, and found it. This one was an exclusive with the Tudor Rose Guild, and this is by Linda Stoltz of Erica Michaels Needlework Design. So this was something that was done through the Tudor Rose Guild, and I just have a small start on it. There's many different smalls in here, but of course I decided to start with the sampler, because why not? It's like I don't have anything else to do. But I just loved that. There's a strawberry that's charted. A lot of people started with the needle book and the strawberry. I started with the chart right off, or with the sampler. There's other things that we got. I'll show you the floss. There's the called for. I don't know if this will ever be released. I hope you don't mind seeing something like that, but, and I don't remember the linen. Did I write it down? Thornfield, 40 count Thornfield. I think it came in the kit. I just have a small start. Thornfield is one of my favorite colors. So that's the truer color. So I'm looking forward to working on that more. And Linda did a beautiful presentation for the Guild. All right, let's move to, yes, some of the samplers, since we just did a couple samplers. This one was released in December. I think it was the anniversary release by Hands Across the Sea. Elizabeth Dinsdale, 1846. I just loved that design. And I did do it on 46 count stained china by Dames of the Needle, but I'm going to show you the I did decide to do the 103s, so there is a conversion for DMC 103s Soie. Here's the 103 colors. And I did, in one of my purchases, haul purchases, I did get the Swasserfine for the over one. I didn't have that, and there is some over one. And I actually restarted this. I didn't like the linen. I had the linen it was called for, which is, I think it's a Tabby Cat, which I think it's Just the Ticket, yes, Just the Ticket by Tabby Cat, which is a beautiful color. But I started it and I didn't care for it, so I stopped and restarted it on the one I just told you, 46 count stained china, and the tabby cat I had was 40, and I decided I really wanted to do 46. So I just, because I had to restart it, I just have a tiny start, but there's the color. And you can see the over one. And now I'm wondering, I did the over one with the 103, but I've got the Swasserfine. Is that going to be a problem? I guess we'll see, because I'm not taking that out. Did I do a full cross? I can't tell. I don't have the high-powered readers. So that is a question that I'll have to answer. Do I need to keep going with the verse in the 103? If I switch just the Swasserfine, is going to look weird, maybe. So you can see the verse is split into two. Maybe I do one in regular, one in Swasserfine. I don't know. That's a question, and that's the problem that I run into when I don't have all the supplies. So that is a question. Have any of you ever done that? Worked on over one in one, let's say 103, and then switched to Swasserfine? Is it a big deal? Big deal? So I don't know. But anyway, I am enjoying getting a start and getting going on that one. And I did work on a switch here, bags, Dorcas Haynes. I worked on her a little bit. And there will be hanging threads here because it's a band and I didn't want to pull them to the back. So this is where I'm at. I think this is on platinum. This is such a beautiful sampler. Oh, sorry about those hanging threads. Maybe I can just at least pull them straight. And I've pulled different colors. Do I have them? Here's the bag with all the Dorcas stuff. Look here, I got all kinds of stuff in here. Well, I did pull the DMC. I don't know why those are still in there because I'm not using that. And there's no floss in here. Seriously? Where did I put the floss? I don't know. I mean, it's a big thing of a floss away bag. For crying out loud. Okay, I don't know. So that's a mystery that I'll have to solve because it's gonna be hard to work on her. It's somewhere. But where is it? Where did I put it? I don't know. It might be in another bag. So, but anyway, I did work on Dorcas. All right, where is Dorcas going to go so she's not crumpled? And along that line, also worked on Milady's Needle M. Woods 1759, a Norfolk sampler. And M. Woods is on 46 count Thornfield, and I do have the 103. I just have a little antique chest that's small. So the 103 for M. Woods is in there. And again, hanging threads, you'll have to excuse me, but I love the colors in this. And I did change a couple. A couple of them that are called for are no longer available. So let me see. Okay, that's... I don't know where my notes are on that, but I know that one of the greens is no longer available, so I looked up what it was and substituted that green, and I think I did a little lighter blue, added a little lighter blue in there. You can see there's kind of a shading of lighter blue and dark blue. Actually, it's a 3-step shading, so I might have changed one of those blues. When I work on her again, and we do a regular floss tube where I'm just showing what I've worked on for a couple weeks, I will pull that out and do more in detail about that, the changes that I made. Talking about big samplers. Okay, so this is the Wood bag, and I don't know. I know I made notes, I just don't see them. They might be in the chart. What am I doing with the bags? I guess I don't have a place for those yet. I pulled out Ann Tong and worked on her some more. And she is done with the Vicki Clayton silks. Here they are. And Vicki is starting to, well, she's been doing it for a while, but she has the super fine, so I ordered that pack because there is over one on Ann, so I just ordered that pack of super fine. And I'm putting my bobbins in this bobbin case. I think soon Vicki's going to be switching to hanging tags because these bobbins are no longer available, so I'll have to come up with another idea. But Ann is on, let's see, when did I start Ann? It's been a while. It was February, I know that. Last year, yes, February 14th. It's on 40 Count Sleeping Bear. Beautiful sampler. Georgia, who's O'Brien, who is on Instagram, finished this in like 55 days or something. Unbelievable, and it is gorgeous. So if you're on Instagram, make sure to look at Georgia's page. So there it is, and the colors of these flowers, it's just so elegant. I've got some more over one to do up there. So this is where I am. When I first started her, I worked on her a lot. Now I did get everything to meet there, so that's good. But then I haven't worked on her quite as much lately. But we'll get back. We'll get back to it. All right, let me tuck these things away and again set Ann where she won't get crumpled. I keep my whips in, I don't keep them in the project bags. I have, it's been a while. I showed you an Achfeld wire hanger, and they do wire work, so all kinds of things you can display on. And it's long, and it's a stand, and it's to put, say, a little banner on, or a quilted banner, or something like that. I put some cotton batting over that wire to pad it, and then I just hang my samplers so they aren't crumpled, they're smooth, so that's where everybody lives when I'm not working on them. Recently, there was the Bristol weekend at the Attic, and I enjoyed seeing pictures from that, and I also enjoyed, Carolyn did a floss tube right before the Bristol weekend, and she and Mary just did one recently, which was excellent. But I was watching the one Carolyn did right before the Bristol weekend. And of course I got inspired and wished I was there, but thought I'll be there in spirit. So what I did is I pulled out Harriet Salt. And this is one that I had actually contacted the Attic like 3 years ago. Yeah, it's been 3 years ago now. And Jean and the ladies there actually kitted it up for me. So this was only, well, it's the first time I ever did 56 count. And it was only like the third or fourth thing I ever started since returning back to cross stitch. And I told Jean, I said, you know, you go from 40 years ago, you're doing cross stitch on natural Aida, and when you come back, you inspired me to do 56 count. And she got such a laugh out of that. She was so tickled and so happy to hear that. I said, I didn't think I could do it. And she said, and I said, I could. Thank you for that. So I am working that in 103. The main color is the Swasserfine 24.99. And then I'm personalizing some of our family initials when I remember in 103, 335. So these are the two colors. And I worked on her pretty much while the Bristol weekend was going, and I think I got 3 pages finished. Because I was going across, then I decided to just start going down and finishing those pages, and I think I have 3. This piece of linen on 56 count is like a bed sheet still. And Narissa of Narissa's Stitching Lifestyle is working on this. She's making great progress on it, and I love what she's doing color-wise. I think mine is on 56 count platinum, I think. Let's see. I know when I started it. Hold on. I know it's 56 count. Parchment. 56 parchment. So, I mean, this thing's huge. So, here's the color. So, I think I have 3 pages done. So, I just kept, going, filling in there. So, there it is. Harriet Salt. So, while some of you watching may have been at the Bristol weekend, I was there in spirit, stitching away on Harriet Salt. All right, let me show you, before we go into the next little section, I just noticed I had one more thing to haul. Let me show you that. Oh, this thing weighs a ton. It's got to be, I don't know how many pounds it is. It's a lot. This amazing book, Tennessee Samplers, has finally been printed, and I pre-ordered it. I believe you can still purchase it. They've printed it. I mean, look how thick it is. It is beautifully done. Oh, the color, full color. There's over 750 pages. So I've been slowly making my way through, and they have a whole section on Middle Tennessee, which is where I live. And that's Middle Tennessee. And if you have the book and you are reading about the Female Institute, also known as the Athenaeum, that's in our town. And I thought what might be fun sometime is just to do a brief little walk by so you can see the Athenaeum, because it's still there. And I don't know if they are still doing this. They did it before COVID. I don't know if they're doing it again. But they would have a week-long program where girls, I applied ahead of time, would come, and they would spend a week at the Athenaeum dressed in full 1800s costumes. And they would learn the skills that the girls did in the 1800s. And you would go through town and you would see them, because sometimes they would walk from the Athenaeum to one of the churches that's about a block away that was there at the same time. And you would see the young women totally dressed in these beautiful 1800 costumes. Not costumes, clothing. It was beautiful. And I haven't seen that, so I don't know if they're still doing it. They did it before COVID. But anyway, if you're reading that book and you read about the Athenaeum, but most of the time it's referred to as Female Institute, it's here, right in town. And a lot of the things that are written about Middle Tennessee are so close to me here. I'm reading it going, oh yeah, that's now a shopping mall where that particular home used to be, which is sad, but that's what happens. All right, before we go into that, I want to show you some of the more sampler-related things that I keep thinking about working on. There's a bunch here. And have I started them? No. Do I want to? Absolutely. My friend Bridget inspired me with her beautiful Ann Johnson 1832. I had resisted until I saw Bridget's, and I thought I had missed out, but I did get it from Oh, for crying out loud. Can't remember. The shop in Canada. It's an exclusive. Traditional Stitches. I don't have linen picked yet, but I did order from Traditional Stitches the chart. And you can check their website to see if it's still available. And I ordered the 103. So I haven't started Ann Johnson yet, but I keep thinking about it. That's one I keep thinking about, as is this one. And I've seen many people work on this, Rose and the Giant Pear, which I lovingly call James and the Giant Peach. And I pulled the Soie de Jais, which there's a lot of colors in that little sampler. And I do have a piece of creme brulee, which I actually thought might be fun. But I keep looking at it thinking I'd really like to do it on 56 count, and I can't. I'd need 103 for that. So that's held me back. Let me know if you have used DMC with 56 count and how it worked, because I'm thinking that might be an option. And I'm thinking, here's all the threads. So anyway, I haven't done any more with that because I keep thinking about it on the 56 count, but I also have the creme brulee, which I think would really be nice. So that's kind of stopped me. And I'm sorry for the rattling, but I had one person say, don't apologize for that because that just means good things are coming. So here's another one. I don't have linen pulled yet, but this one reminds me so much of I'm having such a blank. What is your name up there, Sarah Milthrop? Reminds me, I think it's the colors. Now, what is your name? Oh, good, it's right there on the sampler. So, Mary's Wigglesworth, and I did get the chart and asked the Attic to pull the 103s for me a while ago. Probably last year when they had their sampler September and they had a special price. So that one I don't have linen pulled yet, but she's just beautiful. She doesn't have a house like Sarah does, but the colors, I think it's because there's a lot of red in that and there's a lot of red in Sarah. I don't know, something just reminds me of that. And I did get the Vicki Clayton silk for this. This is Mary Choate's. I saw this at Hobby House when I was there last fall, and this model was there, fell in love with it. So here's the Vicki Clayton silks. I'll have those all ready to go. So many beautiful things. We're so fortunate. Just wish there was a time machine that we could pause time so we could work on it. Harriet Hay is one I picked up when I was at the Attic in April. I had wanted this for a while, and they had it there with the 103s. So I take that back. They did their conversion for me to 103. So this is their conversion. There's the 103, and there's the Swasserfine for the over 1. So I did get all that while I was there, because I kept looking at it, and then I asked Carolyn if they had done a 103 conversion, and they had, so I thought I just went ahead and pulled everything. There it is. I haven't got linen, but I do have the floss on the Swasserfine, so that's good. And I'm seeing many of you working on Elizabeth Stevenson, Queen of the May for this year. I ordered it from Nicola when the panel came with it, and I did get the Vicki Clayton silk. I haven't started it yet, but I'm gathering supplies. So here's the whole silk pack. So those are all some sampler things. that I've been thinking about. I know I keep talking about the attic, but I was just there in April and I started something while I was there. At their cash register, they have a beautiful display in a glass case of pillows, and they're all done. I think they're all done at 56 count. They could be done on something else over one, like 32 or 40 or who knows. They're so tiny and so gorgeous. And so I picked up, I don't think this was one of the pillows in there, but I did see this there. And this is by iStitch Designs. So Stitching Soothes the Soul. And it says, Stitching Soothes the Soul, which is exactly what's happened to me in the last month and a half. And I decided to pull from their wall some, let me get it, Tudor silk. This one is multicolored. Which one is this? Let's see if I can tell you. Highland Garden. I had never worked with Tudor silk before. It's so fine, just so fine. So this is 56 count, and my plan is to do the top and the bottom in the variegated Highland Garden, and then do some of the motifs in the colors that go with. Let me, I did pull a few. That's what I pulled. And I started it while we were there. So this is just the alphabet at the top. And it's a piece of 56 count I purchased there at the attic, and I don't think I have the name of it here. Or do I? It's not 56, it's 46, but am I doing it over one? I think I wouldn't do that. Would I? I don't have my high-powered readers. I think I am doing it over one. I think those pillows were 56 over one, but I decided to do 46. Wow. I did not realize. Okay, so there you are. So I thought that'll be a sweet little pillow in the beautiful Tudor silk. Sometimes I just have these crazy ideas, and then I look at it later and go, you did what? That's one of them. I did pull out several Quakers to work on. Oh, where is she? The coffee Quaker. I don't see where she's at. Okay, I don't have the silks, or I'm not using silk on this. I'm doing the weeks. Coffee Quaker. And I'll find them, but I am doing the called for. And I believe this would be fine on Ada, because I think it's simply cross stitch. And it says, first I drink coffee, then I do the things. I love that. So here it is. And I started this a while ago. And I'm just looking to see if I can see it's on 40 count R&R Stars Hollow. Kind of a coffee, to me, it's like kind of a coffee color. I worked on that, and I'll find and I have all the bags piled up right here, and I don't see where I put it. All right, let me try to organize this just a tad more. Let's count the ink circle, what we're doing. I've got coffee Quakers in here in my beautiful berry bag. Yes, here, I don't have a tag on it, but I know it's the floss for the coffee Quakers because of that little coffee floss ring. So there are the colors. I love the little Coffee Bean Needle Minder. So there it is. All right, let me tuck you over here. Now we're gonna look at some other Quakers. This one I've started a couple times. This is another one of those, you're doing what? I saw this model at the Attic in April. It is Quaker Virtues. It was done over one with a variegated thread. I'm doing it on 28 count Lugana over one. And I know it was over one, I think it was Lugana. But who knows? It could have been 56 count. It was tiny and it was gorgeous. Now here it is. And I started it with the floss that the model had been done in, but I didn't care for it. I think maybe the dye lot or something had changed. So I've shown you this. Where is my, all right, this is the one that I'm doing. This is the watercolors. And then I pulled other colors to go with it. I think that's correct. Yes. So let me show you. So my plan is to do most of it in the variegated, the one I just had that I just showed you. I think this is it. Olive Grove. Olive Grove by Water Lilies. That's this one. And then where the little motifs are, pull some of these other colors. So I have started it, and it's on 28 count heavy cream. I think this was from Shakespeare's Peddler. I got this linen. There it is. You can see I pulled one of those solid ones for the D, and also that little motif right above the D. So I thought I would sprinkle these other colors in between. And you remember what I mentioned about I find over one on Lugana very easy, and so it is. So that's Quaker Virtue, which is massive. Oh well, I'm enjoying working on it, and I'm not going to stress about if it's done. I'm just gonna enjoy working on it, and I love how that's looking. I'm gonna lay this aside. I might go back to this today too. All right, so let me see. Do I have anything else? This bag can go over there. Okay. This is another one. I don't know. I just got in a Quaker mood, and we got this chart at Sampler Symposium in 2003, and I've just pulled it out recently. It's by Cross Stitch Antiques, Anne Hunt, Nail Cell, 1805. We got the kit with the linen and the gold 103. And again, I have no idea why I decided to do what I did, but I did. And maybe the other one inspired me. And I know Angela, I mentioned her before, who does amazing work on Instagram. Angela, I think I posted her Instagram before. I had this piece of 32 count Lakeside vintage exemplar. And she mentioned to me that she loves stitching over one on it. And so I thought I would try it. And I decided to do Anne Hunt in a color, which there are Quakers done in different colors, multicolors, instead of being monochromatic, polychromatic. So I did what I usually do when I am working on more of a traditional quilt. I start with something that has a lot of color in it. This is Highland Garden. And then I pull colors with it. So this is a combination of some Belle Soie, might be some Gloriana. There is some Gloriana. Actually, that Highland Garden is Gloriana. So these are the colors, and I was able to go up to Nashville Needlework and actually pull the colors. And then I pulled another variegated, which is Victorian Garden. So I am working on these two variegated being my start colors and then pulling other colors from it, just as if I was doing a quilt. So here is my start. This is on 32 count over 1 on vintage light exemplar. And I hope you don't mind, this is going to be a long video because we got more to talk about here. So if you need to, do it in a couple of segments. But that one I can only work on a little bit at a time because it is over 1 and it does take more concentration, but it's not as hard as I thought it would be. Where's my ink circle? Okay, this one is one I want to get back to, which I haven't worked on. So I guess, let me show you what I'm working on and then I'll come back to that. This one I did work on. This is Ink Circles Forest of Sumatra. And I am using Gloriana Sumatra. And the linen is 36 count sterling. I am not doing this over 1. I am doing it just over 2. Look at this. Look at that Sumatra on there. So I did pull this out and work quite a bit on that. Got that corner finished and started over to the next section. I'll show that again. Oh, it's another big one, but I'm up in here. Is that correct? Yes, I'm kind of up in here so far. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I think that inspired me to go to some of those variegated I just showed you. Now this is one I want to work on that I haven't. And I don't know why I say I want to. I just need to, but I haven't. This is Hannah Smith, 1802. And this is from European Antique Reproductions. And originally I had seen the original sampler somewhere online, and I loved how aged it looked. So I picked linen and floss to give it that aged look. So this is on, here's my booklet. I'm using Classic Colorworks Peapod, and this is on 36 count dirty teacup. So there it is. And I love how it kind of mimics the look of the original. I didn't want it to look pristine white. I wanted it to look like that. So that's kind of how I tailored it. I worked on this a little bit too, the Celtic Band Sampler. And here are the 103s, but then I did my own conversion. So I'm using mustard seed. So for the gold, I'm using mustard seed. For the kind of gray brown, I'm using hickory sticks. For the cranberry color, I'm using Indian Summer. For the blue, I'm using Deep Sea. There's Deep Sea. For the green, I'm using Otter Creek. I'm using raspberry for that raspberry color. And for this blue-green, I'm using blue spruce. And tarnished gold for this deeper gold. I know this is an older chart, and I'm doing it on Lollybrock, which I'll hold it back, but sometimes when you hold the model linen back, the camera just sees the modeling. It doesn't see the stitches, but the stitches do show up nicely in person. See, it kind of goes gray, which it's not that at all. So that's still, it's a lot more gray. It's really kind of a light brown tan. So this is showing up much darker than it is in person. So worked on that. And then just like many of you, we've got just a few left here. I don't know why I have so many project bags stacked up here. Let's see, this is the one for Hannah Smith that I just showed you. And I went through all of these colors. I know there's more. I went through all of those colors before I decided on Peapod. And I probably need to pull those colors out, because this is what I ended up using in the sampler. Peapod, and then there's a little bit of a pink Cappuccino Weeks. And then I had a whole pile that I did not use. So I should put those back with the other ones. So yes, I did pull my Houses of Hawk Run Hollow out and work on it a little bit. And we're talking about for this year. I'm surprised how many things I worked on this year. I'm using the called for DMC, and I am doing it on 40 count platinum. This linen has such a gorgeous feel to it. Oh, here's my houses. And you can see I'm starting on house 5 down there. Just have a little start. And I am using the called for DMC. It's a lot of colors. Look at that. Look at all that thread. Ooh, that's a lot. It's heavy, just hold it up. I've been working on that for a while, but I love it. It's so pretty. It seems I like to work on this in the fall. So I'll probably pull this out and work on it in the fall. Boy, I've run out of room here. And I did also work on Shores of Hawk Run Hollow. Actually, it goes like this. I did extensive renovation to the house in block 3. I am using, is it DMC? Is this, yeah, this is Shores. Okay. All of these colors, all the DMC. I'm using the DMC. And I started working on that big ship. And Shores is on. I don't know. Oh, there it is. Oh, I should know this. 40 count Lakeside Sand Dune. Okay, there's the color. Hopefully you can see that, because I can't see what you're seeing. But I did a lot of changes on the house, added things, changed colors, took the mermaid out, added a whale, backstitched the whale. That block with the seahorse isn't my favorite, so I just stopped working on it. And I don't know why. I'll probably just finish it, but I love the other ones. I love that lighthouse. And then I did a few changes to that block, and I'm working on the big ship. So there is my shores. I can't see what you're seeing. Hopefully you can see that. There's my shores, and did work on map of Hawk Run Hollow, which is on 36 count Plum Street blend. And on shores, I am using where are you? I am using the called for MPI silks, which I did pull a couple of other greens or yellows when I was up at Nashville Needlework, because the sun, part of the sun, I did flip the colors, and there's one color in there I don't care for, so I did pull some darker yellows or golds to go in there. But here is my start on shores, maps, which is on 36 count Plum Street blend. So let me hold up those colors I picked, and they're still bright, but they're not quite as bright as the called for, so I haven't quite figured out what to do there. I know there were some good suggestions about dyeing it, and I put a white in there. I don't like the white, so I think I'm going to change it to one of the yellows. You can see I'm going to take that white out, change it to one of the yellows I got. So that kind of stopped me there. But I was able to get those colors. So let me show you a few things. I have two more to show you that I'm working on, and then I'll show you some things I'm thinking of working on. This one I worked on a lot after we lost Benji, because it had arrived about 3 days after. So it was good because I had to focus. It is the Seasons in the Garden by Jeanette Douglas, and I purchased the kit, which will come out 4 times a year till it's done, from the Village Sampler in West Virginia. I think they're out of kits now, but I know that you could search online and you can find this chart and the silk packs, because it makes it more economical to get the silk pack, and it also comes with the beads. So there are 3 cards with the different colors there, and I've got quite a bit done. I have this and this to do and right in there. So I was working on this, so I didn't even take it out of the hoop, and it is on the called for 36 count Moonstone by Fiber on a Whim. Look at that variegated. Isn't that gorgeous? So I worked a lot on that, and I am just working on, that's going to be a little hedgehog down there. And then I've got those specialty stitches to work on. And then I know I have mentioned the Mondays with Mary, which is part of our Sampler Years group on Facebook, and Krista does a wonderful job on Mondays with Monday with Mary. And Mary Carter's going to be one she's going to be working on ahead and in the future. Should be soon, when she finishes the one she's working on now. And we can stitch along with her what she's doing, or we can work on something else. I usually work on something else, but I decided I wanted to do Mary Carter when she starts. And I actually had this chart in my wish list, so I went ahead and purchased it. And it's $17.12, and the colors are really interesting. There's only 8 colors. Here they are. Here, I pulled the DMC. Those are the colors. I had a really difficult time figuring out the linen, because you've got these bold, brilliant colors, and then you have a couple of light colors. And so if you went with a light linen, unless that light floss is surrounded by something else, you're going to lose it. It's going to ghost. And if you go too dark, I mean, I pulled several things, and I actually stitched some samples on several things, which then I pulled out because I wanted to use the linen for something else. But I finally decided what to do when I actually started it. I did all of the verse here, which there's a lot of lines of verse there. And I decided to do my own Vicki Clayton conversion, and then I did add a couple of the Cold 4 DMC, I'm sorry, 103. I was gonna do the DMC, but then I decided this is a long-term project and I wanted to do the silk. And this is why I haven't had any haul other than the book and 2 pieces of floss, because I did purchase one of the Millennium Frames. And that's where Mary Carter's living right now. And I did sew some fabric on the top to give me the room to work on her. So here's my Millennium Frame, and what linen did I decide on? Because it was hard to decide. All right, where is she? Don't tell me I didn't write it down. It's Lakeside Vintage Cedar Plank, and I didn't write it down. Are you kidding me? No, okay, I gotta do that. But here it is. Of course, when I'm not working on it, I will slacken the tension. Here's the color, and yes, it is darker than I thought I would do, but if you look at the cover, can see what I've chosen is just a hair darker. And they did vintage, I think vintage pear, which they did something it's just too hard to get. Fawn, vintage fawn, which is kind of a light tannish brown. So I had the cedar plank and I tested it, and I liked especially how those brighter colors look. The light in the words are light, but they are in the sample too. So that's color. Just ignore the fabric. Let me pull it up here and show you. Oh, here it is. I haven't done the Algerian lace or Algerian stitch at the top yet. Need to do that. And actually, Audrey of Stitch Bead did a tutorial on that, which I'm going to try her technique. I like how it looked. So that's Mary Carter. And for those of you that are thinking of getting the Millennium Frame and haven't because you heard horror stories that it took a year to get, well, that was a while ago during COVID, and I placed an order and there was good communication, and I had it in my hand in 10 days. Then I placed another order for another size and the tabletop stand, and I had that in 2 weeks. So there was good communication. It came in a timely manner. So for those of you that have held off, I'd give it a go again because I love it. So I worked on Mary Carter a lot and Seasoned the Garden a lot because it took concentration and I needed that. So I didn't think about anything else. So the last thing I'm going to show you, I have in this basket some things that's not going to work. Let me go over here. Some things that relate to what I've been stitching that I want to stitch. Village of Hawk Run Hollow. I love that. I mean, I've already got 3 Hawk Run Hollows. Do I need another one? No. Do I want to do more? Yep. So there you go. And autumn. I actually bought the linen that matches Houses of Hawk Run, and it's platinum. So I have a half yard of that ready to go. So it matches houses. So that's autumn at Hawk Run. Then I have this one, which I picked up at the estate sale I've mentioned before. This is Long Dog Samplers Quilts, Quiltz. But look at the little villages with the quilt blocks, and the quilts at the bottom, I just loved that. And it already has linen, which I'm not sure if I'll use this particular one, but it's R&R 28 count French vanilla. If I could do the 28/1. And oh, I'm not going to pull this out. There's all the flosses that go with it. And I keep looking at that because, first of all, it's huge, and I seem to be drawn to those, but I just love it. Where am I going to put it? No, I just piled up in front of me. Here's another one I keep thinking about. This is by Pickle Barrel Designs. This is an older one, Cape Cod Christmas. Look at that. Kind of reminds me of the one I just showed you, that little village. And I seem to be on a kick with ships. So this is one that I keep thinking about. This is Carriage House Sampling 1779 ship sampler. Love that. And here's another one by Carriage House, Hannah's Ship. It's got quilt blocks. Look at the sails. Look at the motifs in the sails. I don't have floss or anything for these yet. I just have them pulled. And keep thinking about it. There's another one I picked up at the antique or the estate sale. This is Plum Street Nantucket Girls Sampler. And this has got the linen and the floss, and I haven't even looked at the linen yet. Look at that. It's got a ship on it. Let's see what the verse is. There's a bunch of verses. It's just really fun. I love the whale. Look at the whale down here. There's just lots to look at. I love that one. And here's another one, which would be a nice companion to this one. This is by Liz Matthews, but this is Elizabeth's Garden Nantucket Sampler. And I do have some 32 count Winter's Brew here, ready to go. That also came from the estate sale. None of the floss, but I don't think. No, but I love how those would look together. Just a couple more, and then we'll finish. And I'm proud that I made it through. Only started to cry once. This one is a Williamsburg Foundation, the exemplary Ann Hill sampler, and it has a ship. Looking to see what year. I'm not sure, but it's the whole kit, but let me pull it back so you can see. I love that sampler. And again, it's got the ship on it, which is good. And is this the last one? This is the last one. Again, with the ship, I don't know why. I'm drawn to ships, so I just pulled them. This is I Saw Three Ships, and it's Christmas 1999 by Fancy Works. And again, this is one I got from the estate sale. It's actually started, but look at how pretty this is. And it's got the floss. Look how pretty this is. I saw somebody on a Facebook group recently talking about this, and they asked what the name of it was, and I was able to pull this out and share it. So I think I've shown you everything. It's going to take me a while to put it all back, which is good, but thank you for hanging in with me here. Thank you for being patient since I wasn't able to tape for a while. I plan on coming back sometime in August, and then we're going to have a big trip August into September, so probably tape somewhere maybe about 3 weeks, I plan. too, and then again maybe toward the end of August. So that's kind of the plan. And what am I going to work on? Well, I just pulled a couple that I said, do I think I'm going to work on these? I know that I need to finish this because the next installment will be coming in August. I think in August, which I won't be able to work on until September. And then in September, I've got the Katie Strachan sampler class. So that's why I'm trying to get this done. So I'll probably for sure work on this because I want to get that finished. So I don't know, whatever the mood strikes me, I'll have to put everything away. I'm not starting anything new, I say determinedly. We'll see. But I was looking at my book, and for this year, I have 5 finishes, and all of those finishes came from things I started this year. I won't even count how many things I've started this year. But of my whips, my whip page, 1, 2, 3, 4, I finished 4 on my whip page. And then these are the starts for this year and then the finishes. So it's July. So like I said, I'm not worried about any of that. I'm just going to work on what brings me joy, and I hope that you will do the same. And just remember, stitching soothes the soul. Till next time, bye. I just finished. This is the aftermath that I have to put away. I just piled everything over here, and what you see, well, it looks pretty good right there. And I did change the backdrop, which I put a picture in, but all of that has to be put away. All of this, it was a 2-chair floss tube, and I was sandwiched in. And look at this. There's samplers piled under the chair. That's where my Katie Strachan's living, right there, in the Seasons of the Garden. Oh, anyway, that's what I see when I'm talking to you. And this is now. Oh my, I might need to get lunch before I tackle this. Till next time, everyone.